Hello everyone and welcome to Yoga with Rachel. Today we explore a posture that looks very simple from the outside, but I'll let you in on a little secret. It is actually quite challenging because there is a lot of internal work that is going on. So it's challenging, but yet in a very good way. So today's pose that we are exploring is staff, or also known as stick pose. There are so many benefits of staff posture. For example, it helps improve your posture. It's funny, staff posture helps improve posture. Well, who would have ever thought? It helps strengthen the back, works on your hip flexors, it strengthens out the leg, really stretches out the shoulders. It is a really great posture to explore, in my opinion. For today's practice, it is a good idea to bring perhaps a blanket with you or a yoga block, as this can help lengthen the spine. And besides that, even if you don't have those, I should actually say, even if you don't have those props, no worries, because I will have a number of modifications along the way. All right, let's get moving. All right, let's start off in a nice, comfortable seat. Take your hands and move the fleshy parts of the bum off to the side so that way you can really feel your sit bones rooting in to the earth. Extend the legs out long in front of you. Heels are in line with our hip points, so it's hip distance apart. Press the heels into the mat, and as you do this, flex your feet or your toes towards your face. You may feel a little bit of an activation in your quads, as well as in your calf muscles, and perhaps even in your hip flexors. Okay, there is also a little bit of an internal rotation taking place in the thighs, which is very similar to what happens when we enter downward facing dog. Pretty cool that some of these poses have some parallels to it, huh? Okay, so next stop is our pelvis. So what we want to do is we want to rock our pelvis forward, very similar to when we enter tabletop position. This will then start to activate the low core and also lengthens our low back, kind of creating a neutral spine. Next, loop your shoulders up and down the back body, pressing the shoulder blades together, really opening up the chest and the pecs, and then place your hands, palms face down, at your sides. Woo. Lastly, the head, the crown of the head. Now, I have a tendency, and I know that a few of us do have a tendency to poke our chins forward, and that's due to some computer habits or texting habits. So just as a gentle reminder, I'm just going to ask that we tuck our chin in slightly, always remembering that our neck is an extension of our spine. It's all integrated, it's all connected. You may already start to feel a bit of a tremble happening in the legs. I know I definitely do, and I've been doing this posture for quite some time. So that's pretty cool. You're pretty much making an L shape with your body. Also, something that is really neat is that we're kind of creating two lines, or two sticks, hence the name, I guess. A stick from the crown of the head all the way to your tailbone, and then from your tailbone all the way to your toes. If this is becoming a little bit too much, here are some of your options. As always, you can loop the shoulders down the back body. You can keep the hands, the hands, like the palms raised as well. You could also use your blanket and put it right underneath the booty, as this will help you lengthen up through the spine. Also, feel free to create a generous bend in your knees. Why not? Again, this also lengthens the back body. And in time, you can work to straighten out the legs. So I find this posture really interesting because it's really like two opposing forces working together in harmony. We have our upper body that is trying to create this upward lift, and then we have our lower body that is grounding down. Pretty neat stuff. Okay, let's just take another deep breath in together. And a breath out. Another deep breath in, and as we do, raise your arms up overhead. Find a generous bend in your knees, and as you exhale, begin to bring your hands, whether it's to your shins, your ankles, or your feet. Drape the upper body over top of the thighs and rest your head on your knees or towards your knees. Close your eyes. Maybe find a gentle sway side to side. For me, this feels really yummy, especially in my hip flexors and in my low back, my legs, especially after all the hard work that we just did. Take a deep breath in. And on your exhale, begin to roll on up through the spine, stacking the head over the heart and the heart over our pelvis. Coming back to a cross-legged position, back to our starting point. Let me tell you, you rock. Great job today. Okay, we did it. That was staff pose. As I already mentioned, it is a very challenging posture, physically, mentally, and even emotionally. I remember the very first time that I tried that posture, and I wanted to give up after just a few seconds because I just found it so hard to stay there, and also I got bored. I was ready to move on to the next thing because, you know, my life is always so hectic and always go, go, go. So this pose kind of forced me to slow down a little bit. It also challenged me to persevere through the more challenging times as well, even when I want to give up. So that's what I personally took away from my explorations with staff pose. So my goal and my hope is that you find more steadiness and ease as you do explore this posture, whether that is bending your knees or putting a yoga block underneath the bottom and finding a lift there to create more length in the back body, or even just challenging yourself to hold it for 5 seconds longer, or maybe even 10 seconds longer. So that's really my overall goal for this video, and also for you to know the ins and the outs of this posture. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the Yoga with Rachel channel. It is the best way to support free yoga content for all. As always, I invite comments and questions. I would love to hear about your experiences in this pose. And yeah, thank you so much for sharing your time and energy with me. Enjoy the rest of your day. Adios.